Hi, Alan Stratton from Woodturning. Christmas time is approaching, like it or not, but it is, and it's time to make Christmas ornaments for Christmas and for the Christmas Ornament Challenge. Remember, anyone can submit their Christmas ornament to the challenge during the month of November. All it takes is a picture. It's great fun. You can see a large variety, and you can show off your best work. But for this video, I'm exploring windows into ornaments. So for example, inside out turnings give us an opportunity for a window into the sole of the ornament. In this case, I made this for this 3-stave inside out ornament for the Woodturners Worldwide Symposium going on as I make this video. You've also seen these faux sea urchin ornaments, which I have a video on, and I also do for interactive remote demonstration for clubs. These have windows into their sole. They are a little bit more complex, so this one I'll simplify and say, okay, if I take a perfect sphere, can I give it windows into its sole? So we'll do this one today. The trick for this one is twofold. Number one, how to size the windows, because if you size them too big, you get something that really doesn't work as an ornament. But then the trick is to take the sphere and drill the sides of it so that you can get the windows. So this is an egg chuck that I haven't used for quite a while, but it is just a half of a plumbing fitting with a disc in it to hold the sphere, and then the cap clamps around the sphere from the top. And then as things change, I had a hole on one side, so I needed a different item to hold the sphere in this. So again, clamp it on, off and running. So you'll see that in this video. Be careful of the size again, but for now, let's go ahead and peer into this ornament sole through these windows. This is a cylinder turned from cherry. It is a bit long, so I measure the diameter and see if I can get 2 spheres from this piece with a little margin to spare. While I am at it, I do the calculations for the critical points for a sphere. I will need them shortly. I trim the end and cut a new tenon before parting it near half. It is a good thing I have 2. I will need it later. With the wood reversed into a chuck, I can trim the end and ram the live center point into the wood to mark the current axis. I want to do the next part between centers, not with a chuck. Then mark the size of an octagon's side on both ends of the wood. I can also mark the corner points on the side of the cylinder. By the way, this sphere is going to be more complicated than a standalone sphere. Then cut the corners off, mark the midpoints and the midpoints of the half lines. But instead of rounding off the sphere, I cut a tenon on both ends. I need a chuck for the next part. With the sphere in a chuck, I can trim the end just a little bit. Then mark 4 divisions on my chuck. I use tape to indicate the points so that if I lose track, it is not during a critical cutting operation. This is so I can mark 4 equal divisions on the wood. While still held in the chuck, I need to drill a 3/8" hole in line with the grain. I drill only halfway, then flip it around to finish the hole from the other side. If there is a mismatch, I want the junction in the center, where it will not matter. Before removing the wood from the chuck, I punch each intersection of the 4 divisions with the equator line. This will help later. Then drill a small diameter hole at each intersection. The hole will ensure the mark survives the next few operation. Now to refine the rough sphere, I mount a cup faceplate and my padded live center. This is now my standard process for refining a sphere. This time I will use a scraper instead of a shear cut to trim back the sphere. However, with the extra tenons, I needed a couple more rotations to get it refined. The final refinement starts with 80 grit sandpaper, moving up through the grits with 3 rotations at each grit. I'm sanding with a beeswax and mineral oil mix which traps sanding dust and lubricates the sanding. Now for the major difference from a standard sphere cutting process. I have brought out my egg chuck, which is half of a 2-inch plumbing fitting with threaded caps. At the bottom of the chuck is a disc with a hollow to receive a sphere. Just under the cap is another ring that fits my sphere and allows the cap to be tightened down on the sphere. Alignment is key. Remember those small holes I drilled much earlier? These now are useful to align the point of a Forstner bit. Once aligned, I can secure the sphere in the PVC chuck and drill the first 1-inch hole just past center. For the opposing hole, I want different support. I have a different disc with a short 1-inch tenon instead of a hollow. This will keep things aligned and support my sphere. Then drill away. Finally, drill holes number 3 and number 4 in the same manner. However, on my first globe, it collapsed with hole number 4. It had 1.5-inch holes. Too big. Start over. Finally, since I could not shine the sphere with friction on the lathe, I will buff it with my buffing wheels for Tripoli, White Diamond, and Carnauba wax. Meanwhile, a top and bottom finial and a hanging ring. I offer this as one alternative ornament globe treatment. I hope my viewers can consider this as an option for their Christmas ornament for the challenge. I expect you to show me some great ornaments. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe on my website, and tell your friends. I appreciate your comments and questions. Every week I make a new wood turning video and add it to my website. As usual, I appeal for you to wear your full face shield for safety anytime the lathe is running. I will see you next week with another wood turning video.